to bounce back from. Confidence can be deflated, but nonetheless, we have to see which team will be joining that of Gallerus in the 1-0 club.
Should be fun to watch as we jump on in to the first hard point, right down to the middle of the fountain. Lots of focus on what happens between these windows, and okay, good start here from Godlike, taking some focus over towards the rock side of the stairs. That's enough to take off the players from Elevate from the windows and get themselves in for a little bit of time, but not enough to really change the status too much, as the spawns will have Elevate right back up top of the high ground.
Yeah, that's right. And that's pretty much all P1 is. The early get-goes when it comes down to Hacienda hardpoint. Basically just trying to maintain high ground control, try to get a couple players finessing around some smoke grenades inside the hardpoint. Just as simple as that. But most importantly, you want to make sure that you're playing for those back mansion spawns. P2 is one of our very first money hills here on Hacienda.
Indeed the case. Down over towards the Lambo side of the map at the bottom left. Elevate doing a really nice job here to soak up for some pretty significant time, all things told. I mean, already up to above 25 seconds after they had gotten kind of surprised by the route that Godlike put together. Really good stuff overall for Elevate in the yellow. Now making their move over towards P2. Elevate doing what they can from the front here. Not going to have a chance to win the spawns, as Godlike will anchor things up, and a couple of kills will allow them a chance to jump into P2 early.
I mean, but look at the dispersion coming through. I mean, you got one player up Prevail. He's trying to lurk over by rocks to actually get some player to spawn on top of him, but you really got to tip it out coming out from Elevate, actually playing for those close fence spawns. But the problem is they have to march their way up through these very narrow checkpoints.
And Godlike are aware of this. They're anchoring someone in towards the rocks, so they know they're fighting back driveway time and time again. There's an opportunity to really kind of reinforce now as they see a couple of players spawn out. So now everyone comes back into the hard point. This is really good from Godlike, kind of bunkering down inside the hill. First 30 seconds are theirs, but now Elevate have stabilized inside the backside of the spawns. Can they find a way to actually convincingly break this setup? So far, so good. Learn has to give up his angle and try to hit from the front. A little pitch comes over from the side hallway, and it's not fully enough to flip the hill, as Elevate will continue to spawn close.
Yeah, so now you're just down to about 10 seconds, but you just got to take and run with it here if you are Godlike. A Predator Missile is actually coming out from Trunks. There's only 6 seconds, so really the influence for that might help them move their way towards the hedges, but realistically not a big fan of the Pred Missile potentially for this rotation over towards P3. Godlike do currently hold that position. Maybe some information on where they're coming from.
One player for Elevate does spawn behind the play, but it's figured out nicely by Godlike. Now taking their focus to the front. Nice shots from Trunks. Looking for more around the backside as the first war machine gets popped. Again, he's just throwing it through the smoke. Doesn't find anything. It's completely gets countered out by the Sparrow. Good trade of focus as Learn takes his attention back towards the top side at Patio. All of Elevate are coming through, but he runs out of shots, and now it's just down to what can Neutrino find with the Godlike war machine out.
It was just one war machine that Kendy pulled out for Elevate. The response for Godlike were 3 operators in tow, and only one of them realistically found somewhat of a value, and that was to end up being Neutrino with that war machine themselves. But it's still Elevate hanging around the joint, trying to get a little bit more space further forward. Is Godlike just trying to unearth Elevate to get more time here at the end of P3?
Honestly, these have been 2 really good hard points for Godlike, fighting from inside the hill. They're not controlling Patio. They're not controlling the back spawns. They're allowing Elevate to spawn to the backside of the map, but Godlike say, we'll take the first 35, 40 seconds, let you spawn back, get the scrap time, and then we'll just rotate freely again. So it's a macro game that's exchanging 40s for 20s, which the mathematicians out there, you don't need a PhD to know that that's enough to likely win the game if that continues.
But it is only a 2-point game. Elevate will be over by the rocks first. Some split spawns will start to come through. Starting to open things up with the Purifier, and then immediately the Equalizer just both shut down. Just no return of investment there. So Godlike trying to utilize their numbers, trying to push a little bit further forward. So much easier said than done.
Purifier shut down though in Trunks' hands. These cleaning things up with the Annihilator. Yopi, backside of the hill, hoping that his teammates could clear things out from the front side at Tiles, and Yopi's done well. Okay, couple to come through, smoke out, but doesn't really do too much to deter this Elevate break from the front. Abiz in trouble, dealt with, and now Elevate's starting to really heat things up as now really the operators are completely extinguished.
Yeah, the Equalizer finally able to be fully pulled out there for close, trying for the past 4 lives just to maybe find value, but Kendy just marches forward, finds 3. And then the final few cleanups come through before we get back towards the center of the map. And again, it's been a tale of 2 different conversations. Godlike fundamentally sound, as you were pointing out there at the end of P3, with inside of the hard point just being able to play such superior positioning, but Elevate, scrappy as ever, just always hanging around, and will maintain this 15-point lead.
Yeah, really the only difference in this map is the 15 extra seconds that Elevate found on P1.
On P1, yeah.
Yeah, so Godlike, I would say, better in P2, B3 than Elevate, who has found more success on these more 50-50 hard points.
That's right.
Back into the middle of the map we go. Even pinstripe kill feed for the time being as we just get trades back and forth. Elevate still inside the time, but Godlike finally a chance to displace him.
Trying to at least finesse down low. We'll start to see numbers subsiding. The team in blue, that will be Godlike. But most importantly, they're trying to maintain presence over by the lobby of the mansion as well. Elevate should be able to read this. There's 25 seconds on the play for it, but they can't find the kills. It's just Kennedy to show up in the kill feed so far, and Trucks will take down PJ as well. So Godlike bouncing back fiercely here in P1 as well, soaking up some more time while also maintaining the correct side of the map ahead of the rotation.
That's exactly right. As they will make their way from window to window. Susano doing what he can to get this scrap time confirmed. Elevate gonna have to stack up and decide how they want to try to break this next setup from the front. Susano, good read on the Trucks behind him. Now allows Elevate just to completely keep their focus on the front. There are operators out and ready. Kennedy, Yopi gonna pull out the most explosive of the two. War Machine and Sparrow are being committed, but the counter from Lord is supreme. He's able to find 3. The follow-up now for Neutrino and Godlike once again able to win over the first parts of P2.
From inside the hard point, their hard work is paying off here, playing for the rotation when there was still 30 seconds left over by P1. Claw invested now for Susano as Elevate are able to break their way back inside the hard point. And look at where Godlike, they're all trapped over by the driveway side, still trying to scrap their way forward for the back 30.
Pinch from Susano on the back. Oh, but it's Yopi who's able to step on up, find himself 2. Susano now cutting from the front with Elevate, trying to split focus, hit this break. Looking good, 20 seconds to fight for, and Godlike are stuck, spawning over towards fences. They may need to chalk and rotate here.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely do. You can already see at least one player is trying to move his way all the way through the garden side. If you spawn close, maybe try to make it threatening to fight for the scrap time, but what a bounce back coming through from Elevate. I mean, where Godlike found so much success within the first set of hard points starting on P2, Elevate just eviscerate them all. You do have operators available for Godlike on this hold. You feel like that you need at least 40 seconds here.
Yeah, Prevail just trying to make a mess of the rotation, doing what he can on an island, and he's done well. Prevail for 4 in a row. Equalizers at the ready. Trying to re-clean up the backside at patio. Gets into the office nicely. A read on one more player. The equalizers are out. And how about this call from Prevail, who's starting to chew through this Elevate defense. Able to find himself on 5. Pred Missile gonna be earned. Susano with the shutdown, but Godlike in from the front.
Was that enough to be able to help things out? Like PJ is going to pull out the Purifier and just going to get immediately shot down, but it's actually the rest of Elevate that are finding a lot of trade kills, and it's allowing them to get more of this time. Godlike, although Prevail might bounce back here with 2 kills with the Hunter Killer drone, is it going to be enough to work their way fully back in? Elevate, their win condition is set. So long as they continue to keep it scrappy and get at least 20 seconds on every single hill, they will win at the end.
And Godlike continue to almost voluntarily give up some of these really key power positions around the hard point. This is the second straight P3 we've had where Elevate have just kind of jumped in from top patio. Often more contested than what we've seen, as now PJ starting to light things up on 6 in a row. Pred Missile just to confirm the scrap time as the rotation is already underway for the rest of Elevate. Surely they get past the 200-point mark here.
Yeah, you would feel like it. I mean, look at all the space that they currently have for themselves. It's a split spawn. You got players over by the Shark Tank in the office as well. Players spawning over by the boathouse. Players just lurking over by Lambo, waiting for assistance. But Elevate, they smell blood in the water.
Unreal stuff. As bums is the word here for how Godlike have played these last 2 hard points. Elevate, locking things down, just spamming things out with operators. Only thing available is Neutrino's War Machine for now. Prevail, nice double from the outside of the open steps. Godlike able to follow up behind that. Yopi now having earned a Sparrow, says that this is the time to go. Not able to connect with anything yet, but all the split focus back over towards the front is perfect. The trophy does not get down in time, and Elevate continue to soak up more scrap time.
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough time to win here if you are Elevate. That much is evident. But Godlike, they just so desperately need every single second that might be available for their game. Learn will end up finding 2. Let's go to a listen-in here now with Godlike to see how they might bounce back ahead of the P1.
Castle spawn है guys. दो लोग chess. एक लगता है castle top एक chess.
कैसल टॉप है
चेस मारा मैंने एक को एक और
कैसल टॉप लो बी मिड 2 बंदे
एक ब्राउन टॉप से आ गया ओबीजे और एक ब्राउन टॉप है एक ब्राउन टॉप
कैसल के साइड ओबीजे गाइस वो ओबीजे चढ़ के खेल
2-3 बंदे P1 में
कैसल टॉप भी था एक
कौन पुश किया
कौन और पॉइंट
कैसल टॉप ही काट रहा है एक यूपी
Not good news here for Godlike as Elevate continue to do the dirty work here at P1. PJ locking down the Purifier to make sure no one gets in towards the bottom bar, and they could just win it out right here. You've got Hunter Killers, you've got Predator Missiles, you've got more Operators to throw in at this. Although Godlike do shut a lot of that down and keep themselves alive for a little while longer.
And calling in the Predator Missile while you already have an active Purifier. Trunks just simply will not let it go to waste. Has currently found himself 6 in a row. Is still alive on the map, by the way, and currently just being a thorn in the side of Elevate, who just needs 10 more points.
Yep. Could very well do it on the rotation over towards P2. They're even finding a little bit of the scrap time here on the first hill as well. Godlike will get the benefit of the spawns towards new. Trunks also popped off. He's able to get himself into a Pred missile. That will clear some of the space. Yopi from the inside, though, goes completely unguarded. And Yopi almost wins the game himself. But you had to think that the double is likely enough as Elevate can now flood him through the side steps, and there's no chance for Godlike to fight back. 250, 144, Elevate cruise to a map 1 win.
Very, very similar of what we had at CDSI when these two teams did meet. The hard points, at least respectable for a score.
Build leading into this event. Smokes, 2 of them thrown over through mid here. As Godlike on the offense are trying to maybe pull Elevate towards B with this hit down mid. Problem is, shot lands towards the play at B, and now Elevate are very aware that there is a play through mid.
If you've been living under a rock and not watching what Elevate has to offer, Wompy's dead now, but Kendi is an absolute superstar. Big trades will at least come through. It's going to force out the 2v3.
But Elevate do what they need to do to try to limit the damage on this quick play through mid. Now the focus just goes purely towards B. Susano playing a very close corner here at Tires. May actually catch something as there's a slide over. Doesn't know where exactly he wants to take the aim as there's a couple of players nearby. Nice shots from PJ, who can now rewrap this. This is a brilliant little micro movement step for him as he can just kind of double up and play this backside to isolate. Doesn't need the help, though, does Susano as he finds a little shot on the Neutrino. And first round will go to Elevate.
Especially off of the trading of the nades, as ceremonious as it is when it comes down to be execute. I love the decision-making coming through from Elevate, just to suppress, at least make sure that a player's watching the flank. But once you get the information coming through from the slide, it just fully engulf them. You have the numbers. Wonderfully done.
Same smoke here for Godlike up the middle of the map. This time, though, they're playing a little bit more passively. They do find first blood, but Yopi, aggressive out of 10. Finds one, but can't step away from the trade from a Bees. So we'll keep the numbers advantage. 4v3 early for Godlike, who have now taken a bit of a pause, try to tally up where exactly these last Elevate defenders are.
And learned, getting a lot of information. Are we going back over towards B? Are we full sending over towards A? Seems that it will be the latter. So I have to worry about PJ with this Fennec inside a trailer.
Stuff from Elevate, locking things down. Smoke out again. This doesn't really affect PJ. He still has a little bit of a cross that he can see here. Abiz steps through, catches the first. PJ doesn't really know where he is.
Where did he go?
Where did he go? He's a ghost. Abiz in and out like a phantom.
The smoke grenade was so timely for Abiza's success there. Was able to get back behind the bomb, catches one Elevate player lacking. And then by the time you try to turn for that trade, or PJ's, your teammate's gone, you're chasing ghosts at that point. Brilliant response for Godlike.
First time we're going to see heavy stacks of nades over towards the A side of the map here for Godlike's offense. A couple of spam shots over through the woodwork as well. Nothing going to land as there's a double stack of Elevate defenders inside of trailer. Counter nades coming through just to make sure A stays clear. But Godlike have shown some restraint. The focus was through, and they actually catch Klo, who tried for an early flank through jungle. Doesn't work out, and now numbers will allow Godlike to approach.
So 2 players lurking around wood. They're actually going to send Neutrino all the way through from the flank, but they have lost Trunks. So 4v4, you're not really in a position to try to give up this bomb site. You're kind of committed to this now if you're Godlike.
Yeah, halfway, as Abiz, I was about to say, is trying to work things over to the middle of the map. He does find another, so now these defensive players should be able to just keep their focus on trailer, but doesn't work out as Yopi connects on to Learn. And Neutrino's long flank now all of a sudden has to be win condition. Abiz clears out trailer by just walking in, but gets caught swapping weapons. And Neutrino's not going to clear America, so Susano will find the easy kill, and Elevate will get their second.
It's just strange. I mean, once you get a player over on the bomb itself, just ready to plant it, you're kind of really relying on Trunks in that moment to fully clear inside a trailer. Once you lose that life, you're kind of hesitant on what you're supposed to do with your 2 players watching the flank. Neutrino's flank just needed to come through a little bit faster. Not really well judged for the timing as Elevate take a 1-round lead.
Trophies splitting the map here as Godlike will not get aggressive early. Instead, they're looking for quick contact, and they actually get some wall bang onto PJ for first blood. Stun through mid just to make sure no one's lingering towards the front side at trailer. And I would imagine that Godlike are going to start to put together whatever their intentions are here as a follow-up nade stun combo goes topside A. And
wow.
Trino lands one onto Susano's forehead inside of mid-tin.
That is a hell of a nade. First stun didn't connect on anything. Second and the third nade over by A. It doesn't connect with anything as well. Now, you'd have to imagine that a player still might be lurking inside of America, but these last two players are isolated. To say you have numbers advantage would be putting it lightly.
Yeah, they did kind of clear this out a touch with nades inside of the trailer, so they should be able to safely commit to the A plant, and that will be the case. Small tally of a follow-up kill, though, comes out of Elevate. So Kendi, Klo need to try to work this, and they're going to do so independently of one another. One from one side, one from the other. What does Klo's COD timing look like here? Kendi holding very patiently, waiting to see if Klo will catch any contact. We got to go, boys. And oh boy,
not enough time.
Just, yep, right in the Bermuda Triangle goes Klo between three different Godlike members. Good damage onto one, but the clock is the issue. Kendi able to connect, but he has to stick. I mean, you have to stick this. Klo may have a chance to help out here. Hold on a second, but he hits the shot that matters. No more defuse, and he even connects onto the pistols for the final.
I mean, that's a massive moment for Abiz. You're kind of forced into two different situations as a pro player there. You have to help out your teammate, but most importantly, their win condition has to be that angle from showers. Wonderfully done there for Abiz to be able to get the shot that mattered the most to confirm a second round on the board.
Looking at a live tally of what the performance looks like thanks to our friends at Snapdragon. As we get early action once again, snipers exchanging kills. Klo going to be getting a lot of focus here. Good support nades over the top through middle, though. They're landing right all over this Godlike offense, softening up the hit, and that's enough for Klo to somehow finesse for two. The follow-up through the middle of the map is good, though, for Godlike, and they should be able to get a B plant. But Yopi is also seeing bottom 10, so no need for it. Initially, the defensive nades over the top
was
looked
great.
Absolutely critical.
That was great. That was exquisite to watch from the mini-map. All the nades coming over and then the hit soon to follow. That's just some of the brilliant teamwork that we have seen from Elevate, especially recently. But it's Godlike now to flip the lead. They have a one-round lead now. Offense is just going to play rather passive, see what information they can find off of their nades.
Now, smoke through middle just allows the Bees to watch that cross through trailer. Couple of spam shots also just whisking by. Kendi looking for the follow-up. Oh, he's just caught in no man's land. That should lead to a commitment onto A with Kendi out of the picture. You got me thinking this is post-planted A all day long.
Now, you still don't know if there's a player lurking inside a trailer. It's actually a three-player committal that's actually coming through jungle defensively.
Yeah, but the post-plant is set up for this setup, and Trunks nearly does it all himself. Doesn't even want the pistol. Give me more of that. Takes down three. Klo also tagged. Easy follow-up from Neutrino, and Godlike up 4-2 at the half.
Big momentum swing for Godlike. They got to be feeling confident now. You've beaten these guys here before. They can smell that raid control very nearby as we will flip sides. Elevate for their opening offense. It is firing into the end of the day. You will see a lot of nades through mid, but Elevate's numbers are favoring that to be.
Learn able to connect onto a car bomb for the first. Nade to Trunks does damage, but not enough to get him out of position. He almost gets the reload for a third. Yopi able to get himself at least one trade. The retreat back is desperate, though, in nature, and Godlike can smell blood in the water. Susano trying to hold, but not going to be allowed to, and Godlike take the first defense, and now a wide margin starts to exist on the scoreboard.
And 2 more rounds, and Godlike will be loading into a third and final map here in their opening best of 3 versus your CDSI champion of Elevate. And Trunks is just playing out of his mind. Up to 10 eliminations so far. Passive setup coming through for Elevate. Just trying to see what information they could possibly get out of Godlike, and it's a first blood.
Yep. Bees will drop. Sniper out of the picture all of a sudden.
Bomb acquired.
For Godlike's defense. Elevate. Spreading the map. Trying to take their focus over towards the A side. Stun over the corners to make sure no one's holding close. There will be question marks about if there's anyone inside a trailer. Learn tallies. There's a couple. Trying to threaten towards A. He wants the action. Gets a couple of hit markers, but nothing more, and that's going to lead to a post plant.
Flank comes through from Trunks, and he finds the utmost perfect timing for 3. Knows that there might be one more player over inside of showers for sure now, as Susano will find that trade, but the bomb has been dropped on A.
What a route. What a route. And now Susano trying to finesse. Pulls the attention to Godlike. 60 seconds to play. Klo, a little bit of sneakiness of his own. But look at the proactive movement from Godlike. They're going to take showers saying, we can still just jump peek the bomb. Learn can hold deep to see if there's a cross through wood. And if we have to collapse onto B, that's fine. Bomb gets collected, and the shots from Learn are just not there. So now it's just down to Neutrino 1v2.
Oh, but the timing might not be there for the peak. Gets the timing to see the one cross, legs him, can't get the kill. And that's all the information you need for Elevate. Plant the bomb at A, play the post plan in America.
Yep. Neutrino also had a second window to try to hit. Doesn't work. Swaps to an Ode. Maybe he can find ways to connect where Learn was unable to. Susano holding the mid cross. Passive setup for Klo on top of the bomb. Neutrino reveals his position with the stray shot over towards America. Now it's just down to Kenny. Got the Odin in now. He guesses right when Klo was left, and Elevate will respond.
I got nothing. I mean, I was starting to get increasingly nervous once we saw the last two players for Godlike there just separate ever so slightly. They got inside of showers. A little bit of a further approach coming through from Learn just to be able to hold that angle outside of wood, but gets caught. Elevate one round at a time. Diminishes lead to 2.
Shot lands for Kendi onto Learn. Hit marker again, though. And that's enough for those smokes to fade away with really not a lot of ground taken behind that.
Yeah.
In fact, it's Godlike who tried to get aggressive through mid outside of trailer. That's enough for a route for Trunks to rotate back through sandbags, and Elevate will have to consider that that's a possibility, seeing as they were pushed off the mid angles.
And now what utility do you even have left to try to execute on one of these sites? You almost feel like that you have to square up and try to get some of these kills inside a trailer, maybe all the way through jungle, but...
Oh. If you're going to clear trailer, you're going to run into Prevail with an R9.
Exactly. It is so standardized coming through from Godlike, post all of the utility in this 5v5.
Feels like a round where we saw Tribe just have to run forward.
Yeah.
Might have to be the same case here. And Kendi will move forward. It won't be a run. A B's up and over. That was seen. Action happening off screen. Doesn't really result in anything for now until eventually Kendi does connect. So now you can try to flood this. Again, the question will be what comes through middle here as Elevate, again, have not put eyes on mid at all.
You got to be worried about Learn in his positioning through mid. Actually gives it up for the timing. Comes down to Prevail to maybe try to stop this. You're not going to expect the player directly to his right, and it is just unfortunate disaster for Godlike in this 5v5. Elevate brute force their way onto the A site. Neutrino, good luck, have fun, buddy.
It looked like it was a retake stun to try to get Prevail out of trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it landed. There's a trophy that I think was played to stop that little bit of a flash push situation, as no one was affected by it. At least if they were, it wasn't for long. So 2 in a row for Elevate gets us back to within 1. Godlike on this next defense. Defensive smoke gets placed deep through middle. Aggressive nades for Elevate, but they have to respect the smoke. You can't just stack at backside obstacles, so they have to hold and wait to clear wood before they can move on to A.
Very similar setup coming through for Godlike defensively. Players inside a trailer. You got one player watching that very long cross of a B's. Does not want to get first blooded by Kendi, who has had his number for the past few rounds when it comes down to first bloods. But Elevate not liking what they saw. Kind of pushed them back off of that smoke like you were talking about, just playing for the timing. So hanging around over by the course itself. Stun's not going to connect with anything as well. Question marks for Elevate.
Oh, the Bees gets 2. Lines him up on the corner. Wallbang double, by the way.
Yeah, wallbang collab.
You think the Tundra has some piercing power?
No, I've seen more.
I've seen less. Elevate stuck. 60 seconds to play. They have. The thing about this is, a Bees finding that collapse. They still have no idea there's a crossfire setup inside of trailer outside A.
And then what do you even do? I mean, like Yopi has the bomb. He's trying to at least catch a timing, maybe a stray shot to be able to get an elimination. But we're down to 45 seconds. You have to commit towards one of these bomb sites, and it's not going to be B. They don't have enough utility to clear all the corners around tires.
And the Bees could just play this safe corner. They know they've got the advantage playing in trailer. And if things get really mixy, Neutrino can also rotate over. Trunks is going to step up. This is bold, and Susano misses. That's enough for Trunks to find a couple of Bees finishes it off. And Godlike will get to that point.
Yeah. No more funny business coming through from Godlike. You won 2 in a row if you are Elevate through the offensive incursions, but Godlike shut it down. The big first blood is coming through.
Then the objective.
But most importantly, it was a great answer for the utility. I mean, Elevate just had so many question marks. They did not know where to go.
Opening focus for Godlike. Getting aggressive. That stun will land. That's one way to kind of counteract offensive trophies, just push so far forward that you just get it too far deep. Doesn't result in a first blood, though, as Kendi will stay at least idle over towards A while the rest of the focus moves into B. Neutrino nearby. Gets a couple of hit markers. Not able to find PJ. Where's Trunks? He was right here. He got on a crossfire, but he allowed Elevate to get into the site, and that makes this a bit of a mess now defensively.
Favoring towards the reload so that way he can take at least 2 more gunfights. And it forces Elevate just to kind of give up, almost expecting Trunks to overheat, but that's not the case at all.
Yeah. Same breath, Kendi also drops on that island towards A. So this hit for Elevate has to come over, and whoa, Trunks does overheat a little bit, thinking maybe he's got timing. But once more, it's just one of those moments that he's going to look back on and say, I didn't need to do that. We've got A control already. We've got good focus here at B. And that's now a door starting to open up a little bit here for Elevate to try to retake onto this B site.
Not saying that as an excuse, but if I had 16 eliminations and a firing and search and destroy through 10 rounds, I probably would overheat as well. But it could be a crucial moment. 3v3. Abeez's position could be everything. Knows that at least one player had cross. Just waiting is Prevail for that timing off of what Abeez can see off of contact.
Yep. Should be an angle to stop any desperate plants on B if they trust it. Prevail may have caught some contact. A late rotation back to A. And at the same rate, Godlike are sitting here saying, well, this surely has to be B. They're going to be late to the party here. Abeez has to be careful of 10.
All the timing.
And now it's down to really just learn. Does he want to peek this? Nade is being cooked up. Does this land for Abeez? There's still trophy systems nearby, but it's still enough for Learn to push. He finds not just 1, but 2. Trade is decent, but there's no more time on the clock. Godlike will take the firing range against Elevate again.
It's a very, very bold move there at a moment's notice. Even in a 3v3, just you're on the B bomb site rather than try to commit and pushing all the way through from the information. They saw Prevail, and they thought that as an opportunity. We have 2 players over here. Surely the third is probably watching mid, which, albeit they were, you have 20 seconds left to rotate all the way back through wood to get over towards that A. Capture segments on the zone. The more segments you capture, if it goes round 5, you will get defense, but if you can win by kills, if you can win an offensive round, good for you, because it is very difficult to do.
Yeah, this is what we come to expect. Kendi's going to snipe whenever he possibly can. Early defense, though, for Elevate. Already being tested over the top of TV zone. And Godlike will come away with even exchanges on overall lives. Able to step on to pause the clock for a minute, but not even a minute, it's a second. Counter nades are good, and that's enough for Godlike to say, we're done with this site, let's move over to A.
Yeah, might as well try. Got a lot of space in the middle of the map through rocks, but nobody's inside a kitchen yet. Neutrino's just a little bit late to this. He's expecting a hit to come through from pillars, and albeit it does, the pinch is just not good to deal with. But Godlike still hanging around over by the A control zone, and we'll keep the clock stalled for now.
Yeah, second to progress on the way. Bedroom control still in hand, though, for Elevate's defense, trying to recover over through the front side at Money Window while simultaneously pinching Abeez. Little left-right combo. Oh, almost takes it into the left-right, and then the instant haymaker out of the Tundra, but Prevail will get the elimination. Second tick lock, third now on the way, and here comes Elevate trying to flood, but Abeez standing in forward, able to at least eliminate this defense down to single lives, and that's enough to extend the clock an extra 60 seconds.
Okay, it's insane how that does end up working in Godlike's favor. Trunks' position off the respawn was actually still holding the entirety of the flank. A very slow start for how good of a series that this young man has currently had for himself, but Abeez, with that sniper rifle, is going to be potent enough. It's a 2-life deficit for Godlike, but they have so much more time to work with over here by the ring.
Oh, I thought for a second Trunks was about to absolutely world star Clo. Doesn't work out, and as Clo keeps his life, he turns that into a second elimination. So now 12 plays 9. Advantage to Elevate. 3 ticks is all that's been tallied to this point. Minute 20 on the clock, and Godlike are putting together at least an attempt to pinch. I mean, you've got a player in Neutrino deep in the defensive spawn, and he's going to call for more assistance. They're trying to rewrap laundry here.
But you also have the same thing happening on Elevate side. They have a numbers advantage here, Alan, and with a clock that is going to be in their favor as they're starting to clear over by Garage. Players still hanging around ring. You're pretty convinced at this point if you are, Kendi, that you can just hold the angle. What the quick scope was that?
Nade in the left hand, sniper rifle in the right hand. This guy hits the gym. Tell you what, follow-up from Elevate, working out for a little bit of spawn pressure, as now it's just down to the last 2 lives for Godlike. And there's just nowhere for them to go. Yeah, so 3 ticks of progress is all they're going to find. Learn just doing what he can to try to reduce the life gap just a touch, but Good defense from Elevate, all things told.
Absolutely. I mean, being able to at least read the situation where the initial hit is coming from is one of the more difficult parts when it comes down to control, as Learn just trying to make it punishing there at the end. Yeah. I mean, hold on a second.
I mean, he finds one more kill. He may get this first tick of progress slot. That could be important.
It might be. Gets the first over towards Pillars, but the pinch from Laundry is inevitable. So 3 segments, thanks to Abiz's efforts and Neutrino as well, over by that A control zone. But yeah, great defense coming through from Elevate, just being able to win not only the opening engagement, but keep Godlike pinched in the middle of the map. It exhausted so much of the clock.
And this is what we often talk about with control in COD Mobile. You've got operator advantage now for Elevate. After the defensive win, they're going to pop the Sparrow and the War Machine initially, but it's a nade from Neutrino that actually stops Yopi's Sparrow before we can even take a shot with it. Neutrino hasn't been able to do too much with his War Machine either, so not a lot of value here for early operators as Elevate continue just to kind of wait for their moment to jump onto the A zone.
Not exactly what you want to see as an Elevate fan, but a great response coming through from Neutrino, not only from the nade itself, but just the single operator that was expended to keep Elevate at bay. That 1-for-2 trade is going to be good. And then you force Elevate back to the drawing board, try to play through the middle of the map. They're already up to the pool side and inside a basketball court, so the clock will stall at 56 seconds.
Yeah, lots of nades being thrown here as Elevate are not just happy staying on the zone. They want to get aggressive. Close, surprise with the equalizers out. Abi's able to turn that into technically 2. He gets the quick scope for one, the nade for the other, but Elevate's tensions on towards the A zone still look strong as mid-map focus continues to bleed over towards the Garena squad.
Yep, look at the setup coming through from Godlike. I mean, they are just inside of Garage. A grenade will unearth Prevail from the AC units, but from the positioning that you have, if you are Learn, look where everybody's spawning, just in a linear and one-dimensional path into Neutrino's, having himself a great map number 3.
Trade is decent, though. Elevate can at least still frame up some sort of a hit. But look at the Godlike defense. They're setting up the Zim trap. They've got it. They've got the gym control. They've got the AC control. And now you're just screwed. I mean, if you're looking at this from Elevate, you're hoping you can jump onto the point, give yourself the extra 60. Why are we not jumping on the point and giving ourselves the extra 60? There we go. Finally, we jump on forward, but now you've got to turn around. You have to deal with the spawn trap. I mean, you still have Learn teeing off, and finally, it's someone who spawns up in the form of Susano to turn and find the elimination needed.
But now you have to start realizing, why are we spawning inside of the gymnasium? It's because there's still one more player inside of the spawn. And they have a Claw. It is Trunks, who hasn't had a great map number 3 thus far, but this Claw inside of Art just might be the final thorn that Elevate has to deal with. It is 14-8, and Godlike have been in the spawn trap since yesterday.
Tough timing there for Trunks. Tries to step in with the Claw, but loses its channel and gets caught with the knife out. Still, though, 4 life advantage. Prevail gonna call the equalizers in through Art.
Okay.
Yeah? Decisions were made.
They sure were.
He's going to be able to lock down this front door, but it just doesn't feel super necessary, especially considering that all of Godlike are still around this zone with complete control of it.
I mean, it's just such an unnecessary resource to throw away. Especially once you inevitably do win this 10v5. The Elevator now out of respawns that you might just need to be able to convert one of the upcoming zones for an offense. All speculation aside, Kendi's going to be able to take down one.
Yeah.
Getting further positioning here on ring. There is a flank, though.
The thing is, with this kitchen control, Elevate should know that they've got Godlike spawning out. This is still doable, but the flank from Trunks may have just taken the last life out of the lungs of this Elevate offense. And yeah, B's tallying onto Susano. PJ, last one left, also gets shut down. 3 ticks for both sides so far through our first 2 rounds.
Yeah, 3 segments each, so even playing ground. But again, it mostly comes down to the resources when we talk about converting an offense in Call of Duty Mobile, when it comes down to being able to turn what almost feels like this is going to be sent towards a round number 5. 1 operator currently in the hands for PJ. Kendi also going to pull out the War Machine as well, just trying to win this defense before it even starts.
It's an Annihilator battle in middle. Abyss has the last word. Kendi has to rotate with the War Machine. He popped this early, just hoping for something desperate. Not going to really work out over the top, so Abyss will jump on. Clock will pause at a minute 10. And kitchen control also looking good here for Godlike. It's going to be an early stack for some very early success here on the A zone.
Neutrino has been a problem. If it's not with the Odin, it is surely with the nades and other ordinances, including the War Machine.
Killer drone deployed.
Hunter-Killer Drone going to try to move themselves a little bit further forward. Watch out for player number 3 in blue, trying to work himself up a little bit of a flank. Is currently sitting up inside of bedroom, and this is a lot of pressure that you have to turn to deal with if you are Godlike.
Yeah, that's just a really good timing on the pinch. Klo from one side, Yopi on the other. Stops the second tick before it can be fully captured. And now you're forcing this Godlike offense to have to go A because of the route through the bottom side at Bedroom. So now all of a sudden a little bit of trouble here for Godlike, trying to get some feet underneath them on this approach, but a couple of kills after the backside of the smoke dissipates allows them to at least reduce the Elevate defense just a touch.
And now what resources do you even have to try to combat it against it? So you got the 2 seconds over at A, but just look at Elevate just suppressing them as PJ just jumps from the rafters, finds himself yet another kill, 15 to their name. And now Godlike forced to march across the pool side. They need this 3rd segment.
Well, Yopi tallies the inventory of how many players are here, almost gets the transfer for a couple, but again, that's what Yopi does. He's the first man in, the rest of the team cleans things up. 16 seconds on the clock. Currently being paused with focus over towards B. That's going to have to be where Godlike tries to get an extra 60. There's just no way to get back over to the A zone, and the equalizers from Klo clear out Art. And with that, now Godlike are just kind of back and forth ping-ponging between which zone they're trying to attack.
And it's just because of how proactive Elevate are, just being able to find all these kills, they either march through Art or they march through the Zig stairs just to try to make sure that Godlike can spawn in very precarious position. PJ up top with the Odin, just letting them have it. Trunks was one shot. Kendi will claim his own life, but it should just be the round here. No respawns remaining for Godlike in 8v4.
Oh, but they do find a couple of kills. Second tick is done. Third possibly getting a tally here with that. Yopi in for the contest. Last second to come through, and Godlike will actually be able to stop it a little bit longer, but not do much more beyond just a small contest. So 2 ticks added on to the tally, and with that, Elevate looking good from their defense again.
Yeah, I think that 2nd segment is pretty vital. Obviously, 2 is more than 1. That's how increments do work. But at the end of the day, I think that Godlike did have ample opportunities to be able to capture that 8 control zone. It just comes through from the timing for the player top Bedroom for Elevate. But you need a defense here if you are Godlike, and you need it to be a very potent one at that to maintain that round 5 defense should we get there.
Now PJ gets up top, already has another Annihilator from when he started last round. These shots, though, not fully hitting, at least initially, but is still zoning out this Godlike defense. Knows he's got a player backside jungle and tries to sniff it out before the Annihilator charge runs out, and that's where it will end. 3 battles for Godlike over the top of A has worked out nicely, but Elevate still with a big staging setup will throw every single nade to Neutrino's direction, pushes him off, and Elevator back onto the A zone already.
How do you get yourself out from here? A lot of it has to be through the money window, but the crossfires, the gunfights, just the timing is just coming up all Elevate. 2nd segment lock. Equalizer now out from Prevail, and it's actually working out wonderfully from Trunks on the pinch. But still, so much more work to do just to maintain presence on this map.
3rd tick being contested. Prevail aggressive with the equalizers. Shuts down 1 through Zig. And again, it just doesn't feel like the greatest of timings for this equalizer. Like, we get a little bit forward, but you know that Elevate's going to be stacking over for A. They get the extra 60. That gives it the tick advantage as well. So at 18 plays 18, the equalizers are done, for at least for Godlike standpoint. And Elevate are still working on playing out of this position.
Yep. It's always been the investment and the return of investment for the operators. We talked about that even on the Hacienda map. Number 1, Elevates have just been that much better. Neutrino, another war machine that, is able to find a couple of kills, but we have to start thinking about what this position might mean for us. How much more space can you deny from Elevate? You have a 3-life lead. You need to suppress him here.
Yeah, and this needs to find value because you don't want to spend the other operators knowing you're going into a round 5 offense if you can hold these last couple of moments here. So a lot of macro gameplay going to be questioned for Godlike as they're only enjoying a 2-life lead. And it doesn't even feel super confident considering the middle of the map is not anywhere near theirs, but Prevail Trunks able to follow up and make sure that everything is counteracted beautifully. 11 plays, 6 and Elevate have to come out of spawn again.
You're running out of lives.
Prevail existing inside of Art is hitting routes. No more respawns remaining for Elevate. This has surely got round 5 written all over it.
Yep. So Learn will have an operator, Aviz will have an operator, and I imagine Prevail is probably close as well. Other side of things for Elevate, Yopi, Sparrow already at the ready for him. No one else has anything charged. And Neutrino's also been able to earn himself a Hunter killer drone. So maybe a chance if you can tally a couple more kills for Predmus. That would be massive for the round 5 offensive attempts.
Would have been good.
Excuse me?
Yopi? Let's imagine. Imagine. That would have been insane. What a Herculean conclusion that would have been, but it's not to be. But the problem still remains for Godlike. We haven't seen an offensive win, but we have seen at least Elevate being able to deny that third segment coming through from Godlike. Would have been the difference if going up to kills for a round 5 offense as we look at the resources for Godlike. Need to find value with the Sparrow off the rip.
Yep. Not good. Boy, actually will be used immediately. I mean,
yep.
Yobi loves to do this, where he's just blindly taking the Sparrow out, not even knowing necessarily where the hit's coming from, just to hope he can just stop it before it happens. But the problem is, he doesn't get anything with it. The Hunter Killer Drone shuts it down. This is possibly where it happens. Prevail stuck in a corner, doesn't know which way to look, able to still find Kendi. That's enough for the first tick done, the second on the way very quickly. And Elevate spawning towards Laundry, have to hope these nades start to land. None of them are. So a second tick gets captured, and you may have to chalk this if you're Elevate.
Oh, you do. It's about a 2v4. The other 2 reinforcements coming through from Elevate are just way too late in the reach, or just too clean as well. But PJ in the timing inside a money window. How have you gone away with this? The Hamburglar of the third segment is Elevate. Godlike back to the drawing board.
Godlike, we're already on rotation. They thought they got the third tick for free.
It looked pretty good.
It was about a fraction away from being completed, but now Elevate starting to work back on their retake. Sloppy off the reload for both players. But still goes the way of Godlike for now, but the defense will restabilize, enjoy a 2-life lead, and still have a pretty convincing spread of the map.
Third segment being depleted is crucial in this situation as well. The lives aren't even too far gone either. Godlike actually trailed by a single life, and now you have to work on this third segment from scratch again. It is almost feels like anger coming through from Godlike, just constantly trying to throw their way towards the pool side, but now you're just spawning over there because wouldn't you know it, you got someone in your spawn.
And the problem is you have to keep flooding to get this extra 60 seconds. Kendi only able to find one with the War Machine. Now you've got PJ with Annihilator in the face of so much utility from Godlike. 14 plays 10. PJ just trying to hang on backside basketball. He's able to connect. The War Machine gets shut down. Same breath. So does the Equalizer. PJ, pop it off. 12v7. 19 seconds on the clock as this contest over towards B, but Godlike, they need this extra 60 and they cannot find a way to get back onto A.
You might need the extra 60, but you need an extra live. Strungs has to pull out the claw just to maybe try to find a little bit more value, but it's 2v11. Godlike are currently falling by the wayside. Elevate will win this round number 5 of Control, and they will go into the 1-0 club.
Oh, man. That's one of those moments again for Godlike. It's like, what is it with this darn map?
Yeah.
We were